And we're finally back. And now we're all wet.
Yes.
Hey, yo.
Oh
Freezing.
my. Glad we all went to the same place. Which was the elemental plane of water. I don't know what else you're referring to.
Is that what they're calling it now?
You
I mean-
kids. Back in my day, we just jumped in the ocean.
Man, I gotta keep up with all this new slang going on.
Good luck on that one.
Tuh.
But hello, everybody. It's been quite a bit,
Yeah, it has.
but can't be too bad. Hope y'all have been doing quite well.
No, I suffer. It's been hot.
Well, damn.
I mostly tried not to go insane while doing job searches by throwing on the entire series of Burn Notes in the background, so now my head is just full of references.
Fair. Fair.
You wanted to tell us how you can make a jamming device out of a Pringles can?
I actually did just watch that, but it wasn't a jamming device. It was a antenna, so that way they could piggyback off a cell phone signal.
Daedalus, I'm not making you yogurt.
Yogurt.
But yeah, no, to this day, I mean, I've never gotten to see any of the Army of Darkness movies. I still think this is the best role that Bruce Campbell's ever played.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of his Elvis MODOK.
Still haven't seen it. But that's like nearly all Marvel projects at this point. I just haven't had the time to like. Well, first of all, I don't
not actually MODOK.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh, you're gonna show the image, aren't you?
There's a lot of images I could show, but we're gonna go with just a standard one I find.
Don't disrespect the Pizza Papa.
Oh yeah. I forgot. It's been so long since I actually rewatched Megas XLR. Mostly because it can only be found either illegally online or on iTunes of all things.
Yeah, really weird.
I mean, considering what they've done with... what Warner Brothers has done with other things... Ugh.
I'm just glad it hasn't become like a actual lost media. That show might have informed way too much of my childhood.
I remember fighting robots.
I'm currently suffering because of that show. Because I have a friend of mine who will not, absolutely under any circumstance, accept that I don't like mecha. And I really like this show. And so he will not let go that this is a mecha show that I liked, and therefore thinks that it is not hopeless.
What he fails to realize is that Megas XLR is also a pastiche.
He's seen the show. He liked it, I think. It's been a while. It just, seriously, let me have some room. Let me just not like mecha.
Mecha XLR, to me, it is Mecha Sopranos.
Could we argue the middle ground is that it's technically, if it was mecha presented like that, you might have liked it?
Zai,
Yes.
respectfully, drop it.
On that note, how about we go down the... How about we go off one by one? Say who you are, who you play, where can we find you, and we'll get this party rolling.
Sure, I'll lead off, I guess.
Go, CG.
Hello, I am the CG. I play Salus, who is not in a good way. You can find me on various Good Beans D&D channels, such as twitch.tv/fartingtart, where you can catch me next Friday, the 20th, for the continuation of Candlekeep. We took a bit of a break the continuation of Candlekeep, for Candlekeep Deconstruction, spelled with K's. You can also find me on that channel every other Tuesday for Rascals and Ravnica. We're currently ongoing with that. We are currently not ongoing with our usual Sunday, which concluded a couple weeks ago. Sad times. But we will have more on that day in the future. I'm going to pass it on over to Bob.
I'm Bob. I play Endair. You can find me all over the internet at Shadow Bob. Krista, go.
Hello, I'm Spoiled Chestnut, also known as Krista. I do not exist. Do not perceive me. In fact, I'm not even here right now.
Bye.
I kid,
Finally.
You're
I
late.
kid, of course. But I play Belky Cursed. Zai, go.
I think Zai had to step up there.
Hello. I'm Zai. You can catch me here, Instagram, Zyme site, basically everywhere else at Zyme or Zyminess. I play Aepatus. Yeah, when I'm not here every other Saturday, you can find me on Tuesdays trying to beat the hidden super boss of Final Fantasy X. Whoa, we're more than halfway there. Wednesdays playing the Hell mode difficulty of Onimusha 2. It's been a fun time. One hit touch of death. Oh boy. Fridays playing fighting games and beat 'em ups. I actually tried out Elena yesterday. It was really fucking fun. Might be the first season 2 character I actually invest in. Huh, go figure. Outside of that, doing a lot of school stuff, so streams are not always consistent, but yeah, that is me. Wiley, at you.
Hello, you can find me at The Wiley is Willy on Twitch. I play randomizers, and now that I can actually run it on my new computer, Path of Exile, when I feel like it. You can also find me on Farting Tar's channel every other Tuesday for the Ravnica game. And every other Sunday, Helixux and I do co-op Zelda randomizers. You can find my music on YouTube and Ko-Fi at Wiley Willy. And I'm also on Blue Sky, but nobody uses that, sadly.
I was just on Blue Sky not too long ago.
Yeah, I exclusively post there.
Yeah, it used to be nobody posts there, and now it's actually a competitor, I think.
Is it? I guess I
Yeah.
just have to reconnect with everyone. It's the reconnection that, like, I guess is going slow on my end. Probably on me. But yes, that's me. Frost. Where can we find you? Oh yeah, also I play
Hi.
Goldblum.
Yes, you played that big, beautiful man. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Frost. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter at jfrost747. I am the DM for this campaign. I play a whole bunch of Chucklebucks. You can also find me every other Tuesday at twitch.tv/fartingtart for the Rascals and Ravnica campaign. You can find me Candlekeep whenever I am on at times. And as CG said, there is no War of the Shattered Sun anymore for Sundays until our beloved DM decides to start up Campaign 2, which gonna have to wait and see when that happens. But in the meantime, might run a one-shot. Who knows? We've got plenty of time. We got plenty of things. Besides that, Vaughn, I believe it is your turn.
Okie dokie. Hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. This week, not a lot going on aside from tomorrow we do have the next, adventure in Those Who Wander where, oh boy, we're probably going to explore this town where we just found out that we are terrifyingly more powerful than everyone around us, and we're also sticking out like sore thumbs, so I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen. But aside from that, hopefully the following week we will have at least Outlaws Gambit, our currently set in the world of Lawbrand game, where so we joined the Mafia, we're out on a hit, we got into a second bar fight, And we just covered self-determination to our robot companion. So I think we're doing pretty good for only being 4 episodes in. Aside from that, then we should also have the return of No Love War Extra, where hopefully we will be finishing Of the Devil, which, oh great, I cannot wait to see how the better version of Phoenix Wright ends its first episode and first case. But with that out of the way, it's time for me to play our lovely theme song. Do-do-do-do.
Izzet would snatch up Daedalus instantaneously, and Belky would just attract every Rakdos in a 50-mile radius to their location.
Oh, we're going
What's
back
the
to last
Rakdos?
conversation.
Rakdos is is one of the guilds in Ravnica. It is the guild in charge of festivals. It is also led by a demon who's basically the Joker. You want to
Oh,
be
no.
a demonic. You want to be a demonic rock star. That is everything that they want out of you.
That just sounds like a juggalo,
Impossible.
man.
Well, also they might want your skin.
Right? Also, what?
So they might also want your skin.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Also that.
Pass. Nope. Bad. No.
Also, the thing that they never talk about, they are also the slavers of this setting.
Well, to be fair, like the problem with every guild is that they get, they're like, they go the full spectrum. So there are a lot of perfectly fine Rakdos events and entertainment. There's also, you know, the fucking pinhead like parties at the very top end.
When did Slanesh here?
Yeah, basically.
Not comfortable.
But
Plus,
I think we.
Yeah, there's a number of things. Like, don't get me wrong. Each of the guilds have a bunch of good parts and a bunch of bad parts. So,
Yes,
like CG was saying, it's like, hey, you know, things can be good. Just pray you're not on the receiving end of certain things, like the debt to an Orzhov, or the receiving end of an axe from Boros, or God forbid, you fucking did not take care of the plants for the fucking druids, because there are very, very terrifying things that they can do to you. Just ask what mold can do. It's not fun.
But Ravnica is not today. It is instead Strixhaven today.
Correct. So, give me just a second as I play. Let me do a little bit of a... Let me do something here. I think I have some music. Just need to make sure that I've got correct music. Can everyone hear?
Yeah,
Here
it's
it
just
will.
it's just a little quiet point. No, I mean it's building.
Okay. Who would like to cover what happened last session? Preferably someone who has not gone. Belky, you're acting real quiet. How about you speak up?
Because my memory is shit and I don't remember very well.
Take a shot.
We got on a boat that sailed, and then everything went topsy-turvy, and now we're in the elemental plane of water, and then we're gonna poof through it so that we can go to Endair's, island. Like I said, my memory's not very good, honey. That's why I wasn't...
No. To be fair, that was actually pretty decent. But yes, we are currently... Our players, our party, are currently submerged within the elemental plane of water. So... let me see if I can bring up a little bit imagery for you all. I'm sure I have something here that could work. Ah, here we go. One moment, we shall have a little bit of... I believe this should be visible to you all. Yes?
Not coming up for me.
Nope.
I see
There it
it
is.
in the player handouts.
Okay. I'll move this down into a location.
I mean, it came up for me just a second ago, so...
But yes, currently your ship is within the plane of elemental water. You all are currently aboard deck as quickly as you are seeing the water start to engulf your ship. A little bit of magic tends to form as there is some arcane sigils around the masts starting to flare up. And eventually the water starts to expand out and off the ship as a kind of air, not bubble, but almost as if oxygen is being sucked from the water and pumped through. You all will, for this brief moment, be gaining a boon, so long as you stay on the ship, of being able to breathe underwater, as if you were just normally walking surface side. You can speak clearly, you can understand one another, but should you get off the ship, that boon would quickly fade. The captain kind of looks to you all and goes, "All right. Everyone, I need you to do me a favor. Please remain on the ship. Do not jump off. But more importantly, if you could all do me the greatest solid, grab onto some roping. Grab onto anything that's tied down, and hold on. We are not going to be in this part of the water for very long." As he kind of points up. And you all look up to what would presumably be the sky in this plane. As he motions and yells out, "We're going topside."
So, just to double check, we're essentially in one of those bubbles like in One Piece, right?
Not necessarily. Basically, you are in water. It's just that there is magic that is attached to the ship that is basically allowing you all to breathe. You can only
Got it.
It's basically like an invisible field of air breathability.
Sure.
Should you leave the ship, that field would disappear from you, and you would basically be drowning in the worst possible way.
Well, let's not do that for sure.
Caltex chat, basically what's about to happen to us.
Yeah, you are basically about to shoot topside.
Well, I'm pretty sure Daedalus is on his ass, still tied to the like mast in like the crow's nest from last time, so he's just not gonna move.
Mm-hmm. The captain of the Red Corsair is, to put it bluntly, he immediately has all of his crew moving double time, and the ship kind of lurches upward a bit. You all, if you all would like, you know what, I'd say this. With all of your passive perceptions, I believe no one's less than a 10, yes? We've all got a decent perception?
I do.
Alright. I would say you all would get to see kind of this beauty of, like, what this plane of existence is. To be quite honest, the architecture under the water is, quite frankly, stunning. It's a combination of what appears to be coral reef, marble, stone. It's honestly very beautiful. You see aquatic wildlife just going by, traffic lines of what... For those of you familiar with Star Wars and whatnot, think of Coruscant with all the speeders that are flying through the air, except replace the speeders with fish. You've got schools of fish, whales, you have merfolk, you have water elementals that are kind of just zipping through here and there. There's basically a few tritons that are riding some of these fish. Like, there's a pod of dolphins that are currently, like, giving, like, what appears to be a tour to a triton group of, like, who can only be prescribed as, like, school children, maybe? There are other, like, quite honestly, large fish. There are sharks, there are whales. At one point, I would say, Salus, you have the highest passive, if I am correct.
Indeed.
At one point, you actually get to see other ships just temporarily moving through. In fact, at one point, you see almost this gigantic mollusk of a ship passing by. If you would, you can, if you would like, roll me either a Arcana or a History.
It's a 24.
A 24. This... You would have... I wouldn't say you would have seen the ship before. You would have at least... You would know what it is, though. Because... the vessel that you are that is currently passing by you, that is... How do I put this? How do I put this? The ship currently passing by you is... it's a nautiloid.
Oh, fun!
But it doesn't... while you're looking at it's not being operated by mind flayers. It's actually being operated by honestly a different species entirely. You kind of have to do a little bit of a double take as you're looking, and it looks like merfolk, except more serpentine.
Odd.
But you only get to enjoy that sight for a brief moment as the ship immediately launches. As it appears you all have caught an underwater current that is currently shooting the ship up towards what appears to be the upper levels of this plane of existence, and it's similar to how a roller coaster goes down, like after it reaches the top of one of the highest peaks that it can get to. It's basically that. It is a roller coaster drop, but going upwards. And eventually, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds pass until finally the ship just ejects out of the water. And currently, it's on top of the water. There is an actual sky above. There is light emanating from all across the sky. There is the sound of birds. There is the lapping of waves against the ship. And eventually the captain kind of just breathes out and goes, "Is everyone good?"
Yeah, somehow I'm okay.
Whew! It's always a thrill.
Are we almost there?
We should be. How is
Gandalf
everyone?
just spits up a mouthful of water. Blech.
Yeah, the water, you spit it out. It's not like, you're not like drowning
No.
because of the breathability, but it is kind of like, it's like a saltwater rinse that was in your mouth and you just spat it out.
Ugh, it's like a neti pot. It's up my nose. Ugh, I hate it. I really fucking hate it.
You'll just hear from like the crow's nest. I think I swallowed the water elemental, and he's just gonna like let it just drip out of his mouth from the crow's nest.
The water kind of just, it coagulates out of your mouth and kind of just like immediately hops off the crow's nest, kind of doing a leap of faith into the water.
Flipping you the bird on the way out.
It
just turns into one singular hand flipping you the bird.
It's like, how do I put it? Are you familiar with the blue goop from Monsters vs. Aliens?
Yes.
I was getting flubber vibes.
Yeah, basically that without the eyes. It's just basically like more solid water.
Fucking Wily is
Never in my years did I think I would see twerking flubber.
Did you not see flubber?
I did. I just didn't think I would see it again. I thought it was a fever dream. But
We'll miss you, Robin Williams.
yes, we will. But eventually there is that just nice little bit where the captain kind of goes around checking, making sure everything else is looking good. How about the rest of you? How are y'all holding up? If you don't mind me inquiring.
Well, don't all talk at once.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Iapetus, how you holding up? You kind of just got shot out of a watery roller coaster. Zai? Uh-oh.
Zai, he's
sorry.
dead.
I realized another piece of tech was muted. My bad. So,
It's all good.
if you've never seen a dog in a like if you've ever seen a dog in a car and it's never been in a car ever and it's trying to get used to the vehicle and everything moving, that but it's a person who's kind of like mouth agape, just I'm does that happen every single time?
Depends on where you're going. For a ship like this, yes. Especially in the plane of water. If you're going through other planes of existence, tends to be a little different.
That begs the question, do some ships not have the necessary sigils, I guess, and it doesn't fare well?
Well, I mean, you don't really hear about those ships very often, do you?
Did we see any like shipwrecks while we were in that middle area?
I'd say a few. There's a few. Whether or not they're from shipwrecks or other means, you will never know.
Huh. Starts like if clothing is wet, trying like squeeze some of it out, like some of the water.
Mm-hmm. Goldblum, Salas, Endair, how y'all holding up?
I am looking for aquatic beasts.
Goldblum, completely unfazed.
Roll me a perception check.
Frost, let me show you a little GIF that will tell you how Endair is doing.
Please.
That's a 6.
The entire time, Endair has been Willy Wonka going through the tunnel.
That makes sense.
He was just singing a Tabaxi sea shanty the entire time. Did not give a fuck because he knew it was coming along with his Hood of the Manta Ray pulled up over his head.
You know what? I'm gonna add a little bit into this. That sea shanty kind of is in Tabaxi would sound like a cat ecking. And Goldblum. With the 6, you see birds. You don't see fish.
What kind of birds?
Seagulls.
5E seagulls. Damn it.
But as you all kind of just take a little bit of time, I'd say about an hour or two passes as you all are kind of getting dried off. Some of you through magical means, some of you through standard means. Eventually, though, the wind picks up, the sails push forward even harder, and eventually Endair, do me a favor.
Yes.
Roll me a perception, and I will give you advantage.
That's a 13.
Endair, it takes a little bit. It's been a bit since you've been back. But you catch a familiar scent. You could smell... You could smell a change in the air. A scent of sand. A scent of grass. It's very faint. And you kind of take a few whiffs of the air. You head forward onto the boat, over towards the starboard side. Right, for those that are not familiar with nautical terms. And you can see way off in the distance a shimmering haze of something. Something familiar to you. something that calls to your heart. Home.
He's going to take a moment, lean over the railing, just staring at it for a moment before he looks back towards the ship and he calls out, "Oi, we're getting awful close. Best get Salus out of whatever mess he's made down in the galley."
Daedalus will realize that he totally forgot about Salus and no one thought to go tell him to tie himself down, so he was probably getting a very bad ride. Is just going to rush out of the crow's nest with his magic mage arms literally just lifting him uppy style and elevatoring him down. But yeah, he's definitely going to rush towards Salus. If anyone wants to follow him.
I'm staying above deck.
Yeah. Belky's gonna head over to where Endair is to try and see if she can spot the island.
You know what? I would say... I'd say you could. In fact, give me 1 second.
Sure.
As I will share something with you all.
Okay.
Just need to make sure I get the correct image for you all set up, because I've got quite a few, actually.
It's Crabrave.
Where are you? There we go. I was looking for this. Allow me to have this uploaded. Alrighty. This should be coming up for you in just a moment. Okay. And now this should be available to you all.
Ooh, pretty.
Ooh, very nice. A little
Ton-
lagoon.
Tons of coastal rock formations, island, jungle, ground.
Very pretty.
Some of these...
It looks phallic.
Wiley!
Of course it is. Why do you think it's my home?
It's an island. It's literally Love Island, man. I don't know what you wanted.
And it's slightly barbed.
No! No!
Wiley, take some inspiration. That
Do I
was
need to
actually...
fucking
have
repeat
it.
myself?
That's absolutely inspiration. We're good
That's
shit,
it.
man.
No!
That is inspiration and a quote. Somebody fucking put that somewhere. Oh my
No.
god.
You guys are awful.
At least you aren't getting the barbed.
I'm going to smack you. IRL. Very soon.
Uh-huh. But yes, you have the southern islands in sight. The ship gets as close to the islands as it can. The captain, however, does let you all know that the ship will not dock fully upon the southern islands, just due to the fact that, A, they're passing through. They're not here to, as previously stated, they're not here to set up shop. They're basically here to drop you guys off. So they kind of offer a little dinghy sub ship, like a little not kind of like a
Lifeboat.
company. Yeah, a lifeboat basically. They'll have at least 2 to 3 crewmen kind of ferry you out. But they are basically coming back. But they are making sure to take notes and ensure that they know where to come pick you up, so to speak.
Fair enough.
So you all get on this boat, you embark. A little bit of a choppy situation here and there because of the waves and the displacement. Eventually, you all do manage to make landfall. You are brought upon the sandy shores. The water is, as you get closer to the island, even though you are still far out a bit, the water is clear. It is beautiful. It is just, it's serene. And as you get to the shore, the sand is, it's splendid in its own right. And there, you feel your heart leap a little bit as you're kind of not overwhelmed, but you're reminded of everything that home does stand for you. Of all the happiness that you felt. Of just being back here, being able to just enjoy. What it means.
As soon as foot 1 hits the sand, the boots are coming off, and they're just tossed right into the pack.
Of course. Of course. It's honestly just refreshing to be back home again.
Yeah, Belky is gonna go charge up the beach. Just a happy like, woo, vacation!
Give me but a moment, and I will transfer you all to a map.
Yay!
I'd also imagine at this
Hooray!
point, Daedalus probably has a, like, curled up in the fetal position Salus on his, like, floating disc.
Oh no, like he's not in the fetal position. Salus is basically at this juncture fully comatose. I want you to hold on here. First of all, I love this map. However, there, much better. So Salus at this juncture, ever since Daedalus went down to pick him up, has been some combination of like ragdolling between the like Family Guy fall position and the Loki in a crater after fighting the Hulk position.
Oh,
Oh,
God, no.
And his every once in a while you could occasionally hear him cough and occasionally hear him just like whine ever so slightly.
Poor thing.
Well, I was saying the fetal position because that's the only way you'll fit on the disc. It's only 3 feet. Unless you want the Salus' head to be, like, dragged along the side of it.
I mean, no, his laying back, the horns are scraping against the sand.
There you go. He's just
Yeah.
leaving this wild indentation in the sand as you drag him.
But
Endair
eventually-
walks over, just picks up Salus over the shoulder like a sack of potatoes, arm firmly wrapped around his bottom, and Endair is just walking. Not too unreminiscent of the day that his mother basically proposed to his father.
Oh, no.
I will ask right now, can you all move your tokens? I just want to make sure this is good. Okay, I see 1 token move, 2, 3,
Nope, I cannot.
4. You
The
cannot move your
background
token.
hasn't loaded in properly. Like, it's all pixelated.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the map pixels, it's kind of a little bit. You can't move your token.
No.
That's not good. Let's see why the hell that's.
Meanwhile, Boar did bring up something. Deos will then just take over looking after Cooper and Streak, isn't it?
It's Streak, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he'll just be like, okay, come on. They'll probably carrying Cooper because he knows he can trust Streak to behave. He's seen how they act, but we all know Cooper.
No. Okay, here. Try it now, Belky.
Okay. Yeah, I can move it now.
Hey, there we go.
I just had a mental image. Inside the ship, during the conversion, Salus, Cooper, and Streak bouncing on the inside of the galley like a pinball.
Yeah.
Gravel and sand flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Salus just miserable.
Yeah. Let's put
Like-
it this way.
Loki crater,
Fucking-
yeah.
Streak had some of the worst of it, because this cat did not fucking like the water. Cooper did not care. Cooper was like, "Nyeh."
Gmod flailing.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, no. The beach, the sand of the beach is warm. The water feels nice. You all can feel that nice island breeze, the smell of vegetation. Goldblum, as you start to walk, you hear a halt.
Is this in common?
This would be common. As emerging from the brush right in front of you. Allow me to reveal this. And then let me reveal. You see a tabaxi woman. Spotted, wearing what appears to be kind of a green, kind of like garb around their chest, kind of like, you know, like a, I don't know what it's called. Basically, it's basically wrapped around like
A tube top.
A tube top. It is basically a green tube top, green little islander skirt with some coins kind of like sewn into it. What appears to be shark's teeth also sewn into the garb. Rows of bigger, like, claw and teeth necklace. A small kind of goldenish circlet kind of dipping down on their head in a V formation, holding what appears to be a combination of wood and Endair, you're kind of a little bit surprised to see a really nice engraved metal of steel into this kind of handheld, like, machete-style weapon. As I will, let me do some editation, show you the art. Let me know if you all can see this.
Just came up.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a tube top.
Mm-hmm. This tabaxi woman stands at least 5'11". Lean but athletic build. And she immediately looks at all of you and goes, "And to whom do we see? Whom do I speak?"
I
Endair-
imagine we all turn.
As the Tabaxi speaks, he reaches up, one arm holding Salus, the other reaching up over his head as he pulls his head back. I'm of the High Wind clan, returning from a long journey. They're expected. They're with me.
She takes a moment to look you over. And Endair, this Tabaxi woman actually comes up and starts sniffing you. And eventually, she kind of stands firm up as she kind of gives a nice, like, relieved smile and goes, "Cousin, you are of a cousin tribe. I am Kehalala of the Stoneclaw." As she immediately kind of like, she puts her little machete to the side and kind of like gives a nice little bow down with one arm kind of in front, one arm behind.
He follows suit. Cousin, it is good to see you. The Outlanders, unfortunately, set us off course a little bit. I was leading these lot back home.
I must say, you are a little off. The Highwind, your clan, she kind of looks back towards like the little bit of the jungle that is behind, and she goes, "You're off by quite a bit. At least 6 to 8 hours away. Back
That's
to your
a
land.
ways away.
But nothing that we can't fix. You can at least stop over with our village." And she kind of turns around and goes, "It's okay. We have one of the cousin clans." And at this point, ZEUS, you're kind of down. Who has the second highest perception?
Mine's 16. Yeah, 16.
Belky. With a 16, let me just double check something. Let me take a look at their sheet. I just need to make sure in comparison to them. Yeah, even with the modifier. Belky, you would notice up in the trees,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but you spot a small gleam from 4 different points in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of have to narrow your eyes a bit, you see dos, tres, cuatro.
4.
You see 4 feline forms up in the treetops. And thanks to your perception being as decent as it is, you see that they're all armed with bows.
Mm-hmm.
And those bows are currently knocked with an arrow, with what appears to be a black arrowhead tip on each of them.
Belky will raise her hands and go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, we're all friends here."
My headset has cut out, and I can't hear anybody.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Can you hear us?
No por favore?
Nope, not yet.
Hmm.
A beep-a-bop-de-boop-a.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. My apologies. Headset kind of acted weird. So what did you say?
Belky's like, whoa, 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 hey, we're all friends here. We're not here to start any trouble. We're supposed to be on vacation.
Oh, trust me, Belky. If they thought you were here to start trouble, they would have shot first and asked questions later.
Great.
The tabaxis, each of these felines, kind of like, you watch as they gracefully like come down the trees. Each of them kind of, again, similar to Keha, athletic builds, definitely, you would have to guess something of a warrior, at least a warrior caste, as they all kind of just come down. The bows are made of what can only be, it's definitely wood of some kind. Your guess could only be either jungle wood or maybe a little bit of palm tree wood. But it's those arrows that catch your attention, as you notice that the arrowheads, they're obsidian. A small quiver kind of at their, not their back, but their lower back. Definitely for quick ease of use. Each of them carrying what appears to be a little bit of an obsidian dagger. And there, you kind of look a little bit more. Each of these warriors also happens to have a small pouch that looks, it doesn't look like it came from the island. It looks more like it was like pouches that you would find almost back, not at Strixhaven per se, but somewhere you would find on the prime material plane. It seems like this, at least cousin tribe of yours, has been in communication or at least contact with outsiders. No doubt having done some trade.
Probably went to the main continent. He nonetheless gives a smile to them. I greatly appreciate the warm welcome. The spirits were able to safely guide me back home. He motions towards his compatriots. They may be outsiders, but they are all of trusted blood. He motions towards Iapetus. With her, she carries the spirit of a wolf, swift and silent. Her bow is able to cast spells as she hunts. She tracks. Her skills with tracking is of even our best huntresses. He motions over towards Daedalus. This one, though he is of the man of black and white, his heart is not with him. His family has escaped from the shadows and walk in the light. He crafts magic not from scrolls, but from his own soul. I've seen him make spells that even our wisest knew not were possible. He motions over towards Goldblum, who is close. Giant of a man. He speaks little, but when battle calls, he answers with the wrath of a storm. And he motions over towards Salus. A creature that no doubt you've never seen, born and sharp-eyed. He walked the path of the dead, and he came back wiser.
Upon looking at Salus, Keha is gonna come up to you, dear Salus. And she's gonna sniff you a bit.
I'm being sniffed now. Oh, whoa. Oh, all right. I'm back. Whoa, I'm back. Oh.
Like the mountain goat.
Belky just starts laughing.
There's a great many wondrous things that the spirits have guided me to in my travels. But this one, He reaches out and he firmly claps Belky on the shoulder. Daughter of flame, blood of music. She sings with fists, dances with fire, and makes hearts stutter.
Belky's just gonna throw up the horns and yeah!
Keha kind of arcs an eyebrow a bit, and she goes, "Fire child."
Yeah.
Her passion is a volcano, and we're lucky to be able to walk its rim.
She nods.
Trust me. If you need anything, you can just call me Hot Stuff.
She kind of just looks and smirks and goes, "We shall remember, little pepper."
I don't know if I like that one, but sure, we'll workshop it.
Keha kind of looks over your group. She's not the only one. The rest of the little tribe that's around her, like at least her subordinates, they all kind of eye up Goldblum a bit. Because that's a big meaty man.
Like mine.
I would say, if any of you would like to insight, go ahead.
Sure, why not?
This would be hilarious.
She got that dog in her, man.
Ha! That's on brand for him.
Oh, what
15.
am I at? 14.
Flustered has 8.
11.
3.
Let's see. We've got. I will start with the low. Daedalus? You've got no fucking clue what the hell is going on. They could be threat assessing, considering the seemingly is a warrior cast.
Let me just put it this way. Daedalus's idea of what the male gaze is how his dad looks at his mom, which is very wholesome. So definitely does not have much of that, because his mom is also very much keeps her horny on the sly.
Yeah. I have this same thing with Daedalus. You're assuming that they're threat assessing, and their cousin tribe probably, they're still trying to get a little probably used to this outsider. Salus, kind of the similar vibe. I would say Goldblum, you kind of. They're looking at you very intently. Belky? It seems as if you were probably the only one who might be able to get an inkling. There's a two-pronged reason as to why they're looking at Goldblum. It's nothing too malicious.
Sure.
They're definitely assessing him.
Sure.
Whether or not it be for fighting or for other reasons, that could be anyone's guess.
They're scouting him for the dual Fs.
So, you guys don't have too many folks as big as Rocksteady here, huh?
They kind of look around and go, "We did once, but that was a long time ago."
Huh? Well, what happened?
Many, many moons ago.
Yeah?
We had a male in our tribe. One who walked a path, not of the merchant, but a path of the warrior, the hunter. He has been long gone.
Is that, you don't usually have guy warriors?
Not in our...
Endair shakes his head no.
What? And Belky just looks over at Endair and then back to the Tabaxi. And then just points at Endair. But he is.
Keha kind of just looks to you, Endair, and goes, "It would be best to educate your friends in the customs and traditions of our people, so that they do not."
I have been trying to over the course of some time. He turns towards Belky. remember how I mentioned that there are certain roles that each person has in the tribes?
Yeah.
You also notice that whenever I fight, it's usually not me that's in the middle of a brawl. It's Afira.
I'm be honest, man. I didn't really notice.
The men of our tribes are usually smaller than the women. They're usually smaller, faster, usually quick-witted. They're usually advisors. They're tradesmen, fishermen, things like that. Whereas the women of our tribes are usually the hunters, the warriors, the chieftains.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
but you're both of those things.
uh-huh. Which is an abnormality in
This is gonna make it complicated.
yeah, I'm kind of not looking forward to that conversation with my mother.
Are you going to have that conversation as Afira or as Endair?
Probably Endair at first, but that's neither here nor there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, male warriors are extremely uncommon.
Fair.
Very, very uncommon. And it sounds like this one didn't mesh very well.
Oh. Got it.
He was good. I will not lie. But arrogance can take even the greatest of hunters. The last we saw of him. And she kind of looks back. I was but a small child when I last saw him. A kitten. He was fully grown. It has been at least over 23 cycles. In essence, above game, that's 23 years.
Had a feeling.
Apparently this warrior has been gone.
Hmm.
Come. We shall make camp back at our place. You are all welcomed as guests, especially you, dear cousin. And eventually, the entirety of this small little hunter party begins to walk off.
All right, everything stopped spinning. I can get down now.
You sure about that? They might go ahead and just sweep you off your feet.
Let him rest. Do you need some water, man?
No, Daedalus was kind enough on that earlier.
Also, they had
I
some-
think I just need.
They also had some beef broth lying around in the galley, so I got some protein back in him.
Fair enough.
I just need to be able to move under my own power.
Alright, do you want me to keep
Yeah.
track of Cooper?
Yep. As Cooper kind of pops up from the sand after burrowing a hole.
No, Deus has been holding him. He knows how Cooper gets into things. He's not letting him get lost.
Exactly. Part of him's been burrowing while you've been holding. He's kind of just... It's not too deep of a hole, but nice little hole.
I imagine every time Deus realizes he's doing it with his two back feet, he just lifts him up a bit higher.
Yeah.
He's just long cat holding him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cooper is long catting.
You hanging in there, buddy?
Yep.
Glad he's doing okay. All right. All right. Okay.
All right, I'll put you down, but if you start struggling, you're going back on my shoulder.
There, do you have any coconut water left?
I mean, there's likely no shortage of them around here. We could probably find one on the way.
Oh. Because we could have put like some. I've heard ginger helps. We could have put some of that in there, maybe. And might at least help rebalance and hydrate. Maybe.
And I imagine we're walking along.
Yeah.
Alice is a
Walking and
little
talking.
wobbly, but being able to just move and walk is helping him out at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely helping you.
And there's
Definitely been helping you.
and there's taking the lead, kind of getting a lay of the land about how far we are out. You know what we can expect from the jungle as we're going through it, things like that, especially on this side. He's also going to mention the outsiders. They mentioned something as we were coming in. Something about ghost ships, or not exactly full-size ships like theirs, but smaller ships, like a canoe.
The spirits, dear cousin. Those who have died of the most violent deaths. Those who, even with our best work, our best priestess, their spirit was not able to move on completely.
He nods a couple times.
It is a shame. But there are things that we can control and cannot. We do our best.
May the spirits eventually guide them to the after.
And she nods her head, as well as the rest of her group. Well, as you were all walking, you do kind of just like have a little bit of talk. It's predominantly friendly talk. In fact, a little bit here and there is kind of like a little mentioning as she kind of brings a little bit of updates and news of how, with their clan, they haven't really been too keen in touch with the High Wind, but they are at least able to still correspond. Usually it's through some messenger here and there. This little extended familial clan of yours they seem more self-sufficient, more isolationist, but they do tend to keep a little bit of talks here and there of how they've come across different vessels and traders. They don't really allow the ships to land on their beaches or shores. They'll usually send like a ship out to go meet with them and do trade.
They're not xenophobic, but they value their privacy.
Yes. It's understandable, all things considered. But there is a bit of talk here and there about how beautiful, like, they have found some good treasures of, good trade, how the sea has been honestly very well off for them for their fishing expeditions, how the hunts have been blessed as they have been very fruitful within a bit of their honestly big game hunting. as they mention and talk of a few boars, almost the size of Goldblum, having been spotted. Which kind of perks your ears up a bit, as that is kind of a really nice hunt. Though, one of the things that kind of catches at least one of the huntresses' attention. Endair, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dapplering's Righteous Fury, is that currently on your person?
It is.
One of the huntresses points and says, "That stick. We have seen it before. A thunder stick."
That's not good.
Interesting. Outsider?
Then she nods. A hunter. They asked for permission to hunt upon our lands. We, of course, requested that we tag along, and of course that the spoils of the hunt were shared equally. We, of course, also requested that they hunt with bow and arrow instead of this thunder stick. We are very familiar with the sound that it can make. Very loud. We have nothing against it, but you would think for hunters, you would try to make less noise.
When I hunt with a different weapon. This is not for hunting. This is for fending off threats.
She nods.
He gives a motion towards Iapetus. If you want to see the greatest hunter in our group, she's your focus.
The huntresses will be taking a look over at your direction, Iapetus.
She, like, there's a brief moment of, like, wide-eyedness, but kind of understands, oh, this is an honor. Should acknowledge, Endair is too kind, but I do enjoy a good hunt. And she smiles, but she's not, like, hunched over anything. She's kind of, like, standing upright, because I imagine Endair is mentioned to not just her, but everyone, just how important the huntresses are in his tribe, or just in his kin as a whole. So yeah, just, he gives me too much credit, but I do enjoy a good hunt.
They all nod, seemingly in approval of how things are currently going. And in fact, eventually, it feels like it takes a bit of time. Like it feels like only 20 minutes have passed. And eventually you all reach a small clearing where there appears to be 6 huts currently arranged in a somewhat semicircle. There is a Spitfire with a really nice, like, metal kettle currently being suspended above this fire. 2 stumps and what appears to be kind of like wooden benches for sitting a little bit around. There's also this off to the side of, like, one of these huts. There is what appears to be a combination of fencing, small fencing around, what can only be above game is a chicken coop and a small little trough where some pigs are currently eating. Towards the bench, you would see there is another tabaxi. One that happens to be more unlike that of Keha. She looks more of a lioness. Or not really a lioness. A puma? Something. But having golden hair. And currently working at this little bubbling cauldron. There's a staff of gnarled roots around this really smooth opal gem top. And you hear Keha call out, "Kimi! We return! We bring guests! A fellow cousin! And of course a few Outlander friends of theirs. And allow me to show some art." Let's see here. All players. Here you go. Hopefully you all can see that.
I see it.
He's some nice art.
Yes.
Very pretty.
And we will transition over to a new... Oh, that was not what I wanted. We'll transition over towards the new map. Let me just make sure your tokens are all on the board.
Judging from the looks of Kimmy, is this a shaman or a priestess?
Most certainly a priestess. Most certainly a priestess. One that, if anything, looks like she... You can't really tell if she's built underneath, but you can tell that she probably could hold her own. If this is a warrior tribe, this might be probably their small little hunting village.
Mm-hmm.
And more than likely, it is at least being kept. In fact, allow me to get to that map for you all right now. Let me just make sure that other tokens are going to be... Tell me if you can see the map.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now can we
Yeah.
move around? Nope.
You cannot?
I cannot.
I can see the map.
What might be going on, Frost, is that the token might not be assigned to Krista, and you're just copying and pasting the same token from map to map, and you're copying a token that's not assigned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a common pitfall.
So, gonna have to fix that then.
It's alright. I can move my own token on there, that's fine.
Okay, well, I gave you control again. Let me double check something. Make sure that
Okay.
you can
Yes.
be edited.
So I would copy that one for future swaps.
Okay. It shows that it can be edited and controlled by you and me, so...
Don't know what to tell you, fam.
I got no idea. But you do see that this Tabaxi runs up and gives a hug towards Keha. And she appears to be younger. At least. And to you, this would probably be seeming around like late teens, early adults.
Mhm.
And she goes,
So she's about our age.
mm-hmm. It is good to see you, Keha. And to you, dear sister. Kimi, these are our guests, our cousin of the Highwind clan. And of course, the Outlanders that he brings. She nods and she comes up and greets you. I am Kimi Hina, priestess of this little small village.
Well, aren't
He
you
gives-
gorgeous? Hi.
She smiles and gives a polite bow.
Endair gives a respectful bow. I am Endair of the Highwind clan, son of the chief huntress. And he will go through the list and introduce each one of his compatriots with the same introduction that he gave to Keha. But he will make it known that but he will put more of an emphasis on Goldbloom and let it be known that Goldbloom is their shaman.
Upon hearing that, she will actually go up to you, Goldbloom. And she will go, you are one with the spirits of nature. Yes?
I am.
There's a friendly smile. And he immediately kind of just goes, it is good to see another. I'm glad. Tell me, of what of the earth and spirit are you?
Mostly of earth and fire.
Oh, I see. I am glad. I am... It is hard to say, but I am the spirit of fire. As she kind of lifts her staff, and you watch from her hand, she produces flame. And tosses it towards where the roast, right over towards here. And eventually you see this kind of, this small little fire elemental kind of come out of this cooking fire. As it begins to kind of just dance around. Goldbloom, if you would like, you can roll either a nature or an arcana. And I will give you advantage.
Do I have to, considering I have summon elemental prepared right now?
This is less of summon elemental, it's to kind of figure out what circle she's part of.
Oh, fair enough.
You will have advantage on either one.
What was it, Arcana or Nature?
Arcana or nature.
I'm gonna go with the thing that I actually have proficiency in. 18.
Oh, damn, good. You are currently speaking to a circle of wildfire druid. She is showing at least quite a bit of respect towards you as she recognizes that you are of a different circle, but one that no doubt plays an important part in nature. She will greet each and every one of you and she gives you a really nice smile, Belky, as she sees you are a fire as well. A child of the sun. It is good to see you. Also
Is she
above
talking to
game.
Belky? Or
Yes, she
Oh,
is.
okay.
Also above game. It is thundering outside.
Yeah,
so
we may
apologies if
lose.
you all.
Yeah, we may lose connection. Belky will smile and she'll do produce flame in her hand and like toss it into the air and catch it. Can you catch or will it hurt you?
I can catch. However, my fire I need to keep more under control.
What do you mean?
I am a shaman of wildfire, destruction in some regards, as a precursor to creation.
Oh, yeah, I think Pussycat was telling us about that. Yeah, I guess that's kind of more or less all fire does, is destroy things, doesn't it?
Not necessarily. In all honesty, sometimes fire promotes growth later on. Take a look at this jungle. Where we live, we must sometimes burn away the old brush to allow for new brush to be born, to grow.
Yeah, by destroying it.
It also creates heat and energy.
Yeah, well. Excuse me.
It is what at least allows us to enjoy good food.
Oh,
Come.
certainly.
And she will kind of just like return back to her little boiling pot.
Sure. So,
as-
can't say I'm much of a cook, but our little friend here, and she nudges Endair with an elbow. He can cook up something real good for you. Excuse me, it's hella dry in here.
Fair enough.
Endair moves up slowly. She's correct. One of my specialty skills. I've brought a number of supplies with me. Since we are, if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to add on to what you have, or at least added some extra dishes.
You will. She will kind of gesture to the cauldron to basically go and ask if you have any. Do you happen to possess any basil leaves or how do the Outlanders say it, sister? Haramono turmeric? Turmeric? Ground turmeric?
The things I have to show you. And he reaches out and he just pulls out three pretty sizable chests from his bag, and he sets them down on the bench. And as he opens them up, one by one, there are numerous different ingredients across all three of them. There is a section that is just for spices and herbs, and of course there is turmeric. There's all kinds of different spices, herbs. There's different kinds of meats. It looks like that they've been specifically separated into different sections. There is one chest that is specifically meat, and it's been sectioned out due to what species the creature was and everything like that. There's a chest for fruits, vegetables, dairies, grains, so on and so forth. And he goes through and basically gives a brief rundown of what everything is.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end, there's about 12 pounds of this meat that no doubt she's never seen before. And that is dragon meat.
We hunted down a dragon. It was pretty damn good.
Oh, we are about to get into an interesting conversation, aren't we?
She kind of looks a little bit wild-eyed. You hunted one of the great sky serpents.
It was. He reaches into his pouch as he pulls out this large green scale. It was one that was toxic, poisonous. It held up in a forest, and it was slowly turning a fresh, verdant forest into a swamp of nothing but decay. This dragon was. His scales were as green as the jungle, but he held nothing but almost maliciousness in nature.
That is a shame. Such great creatures should not be horrific in their... She kind of saddens a bit. Nature's...
Belky will help the story by taking out the dragon fang and offering it up to have a look at.
She will respectfully look as she is currently just... She is looking at this while at the same time ensuring that, like, she isn't touching it too much, as she is showing a little bit of respect and appreciation. It is mighty. I can only imagine what this creature would have been like. How big was it, if you do not mind me? Was it full grown?
I think it was a young adult dragon. It was the son of a bitch. I don't know if they have an expression like that where you're from, but it was awful to fight. Like, actually the worst thing. Like, it was so bad. It would dive underwater and then come up, hit us, and then go back underwater. And we couldn't go after it.
You would see Keha actually nod acknowledgingly. That is the same problem that we have whenever we go on our fishing expeditions. We have been noticing a greater amount of the great serpents of the deep water emerging.
Oh, well, Belky will point over at Goldblum. He can fix that. He can make it so you can breathe underwater.
They're
How
not.
close have they been getting?
They've been getting closer. We believe it is due to the fact that the fish, how you say, while we have been seeing a great bounty towards our shores, it has also become a bane, as such a large amount of fish in such shallower waters allows for easier access to being hunted, less chance for them to get away. As she kind of makes mention, and she starts to tell you all about this, honestly, kind of a harrowing tale of how during one of their hunts, she mentions how there's been this monstrous serpent. Oh wow, that was pretty serious lightning. Okay. We'll get to you later, Zeus. But she talks of this massive serpent that has been kind of causing some issues along the coast. In fact, they actually, as Keha speaks, she tells that one of the reasons why that they haven't been able to keep so much contact with the other tribes is due, in fact, of if they try up via coastal water, those ships usually get attacked. specifically by this one specific beast that is quite vast. It is, to put it as bluntly, it is a creature that is using its reefs as natural camouflage, picking off these fishing canoes. They're able to demolish them pretty quickly and feed leisurely on the helpless, basically passengers. They're very territorial, but as Keha kind of speaks more about it, she assures that they haven't really been dealing too much recently. As for the past few days, there hasn't been a sighting of this sea serpent. So either it's gotten its fill, or it's currently moved on to, I wouldn't say greener pastures, but more colorful reefs. Hopefully.
There's a lot of islands in the archipelago. It could be at any one of them.
Agreed. It is
Endair
not something-
looks. There's a look of concern on Endair's face whenever they're talking about this.
It almost sounds like it's hurting.
If it is, we are not familiar. I know that this creature has damage to some of our best canoes. It even caused some problems for an Outlander ship we had to go rescue.
What worries me more is, what if something bigger has pushed it out of its normal hunting grounds, and that's why it's moving further inland?
I would hesitate to think of something bigger than this creature. As she kind of looks towards Hina and kind of goes, "Sister, if you would." And Hina kind of, you watch as she lifts the staff, and she kind of aims it at the fire, and immediately a small bit of the fire kind of roars up, twisting and turning. You see that little fire elemental that she had, it starts to form into the shape of one of these Tabaxi warriors. While this is not to the appropriate scale, imagine this as one of our systems. One of our hunters. They are fair in height, good in build. Yes?
Aye.
This is the creature that has caused problems. And you watch as this other fire starts to snake and tendril, creating almost a serpentine form. I would say, as you look at this, if anyone would like, please roll a nature check. General nature, if you want.
Could I argue a history because I'm comparing it to something else that we've seen big in size in the water?
You know what? I will allow that.
Thank you.
23.
9.
24.
Also a nine.
Salus Iapetus sounds like a something. Goldblum, you're just like, oh, pretty fire.
Alternatively-
Daedalus? Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
Oh, it's fine. Daedalus and Dare and surprisingly Belky kind of putting some information together. This, judging by the size comparison, this seems like a category-sized gargantuan creature.
And would that track with the giant octopus we fought?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, we can handle that.
Keha kind of looks to you and goes, "You could handle this."
I
Alright,
mean, we've already done something similar. We fought a kraken. We fought a couple different things about that size. So
You didn't
yeah,
fight a kraken above.
yeah, we did with the blue dragon. We didn't beat it,
That
but we
wasn't
fought
a
it.
kraken.
Are you sure?
If that was a kraken, you'd be dead.
Krakens
fair enough.
actually
But
are
we-
mythical in this setting.
All right. Well, Belky's
yeah.
gonna call it a kraken regardless. We fought a giant thing. Yeah.
Also,
wish
Daedalus
to
is just depositing Cooper into the chicken coop because he knows he's a barnyard. Like whatever.
That's
So he's-
true.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah, Cooper is having a good time. In fact, Cooper's going over to the trough and eating out of it. He is. You watch as he is actually shoveling. Because of that shovel mouth of his, he is able to scoop up the feed from the trough, and the pigs are kind of fighting with him over
Okay.
who's getting food.
I'd also say he's just going to do one
Cooper
other
the food scooper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's say-
he is the Cooper scooper.
Also, Daedalus is just going to passively like pull his hand across his eyes and then just say, "I'm also still listening to the conversation, but now I'm checking for ghosts. I heard you have a spirit problem."
The spirits are everywhere in these islands, Daedalus.
Well then,
Yeah,
malicious
as you both cast see invisibility, Daedalus, you are looking into the ethereal plane. There is hella ghosts in this village, but they aren't necessarily having a bad time. In fact, a few of them look like they're attending to the flame from the other side of existence. A few look like they're kind of just watching over the animals. Some look as if they're kind of dancing around this fire.
Well, you have a lot of happy ancestors going around, but no malicious spirits that I can find. At least an eye shot.
Malicious spirits would be more towards the deeper waters. That is where things have happened. We can only assume that it is because of this creature.
Hmm.
But we will... If you feel like you can handle this creature, tag along with us in this hunt.
But he'll just...
Not now.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. It also sounds like it might attack us when we try to get to Endair's tribe, but if you give me enough time, I could make a few scrolls of this, and he's just going to hold his hand upward and then cast Witch Bolt. Lightning does a lot of things in the water.
Ah. Of sky. We've seen magics like that.
Yeah, with Endair's help, I can just make make probably about 10 scrolls of that, so that way everyone in the boat could have one that doesn't, well, anyone that doesn't have the ability to cast magic.
She kind of looks at you a bit more, Daedalus. Your magic. Where does it come from?
He points to his spell book. Well, here, where I basically figure out how to make spells, but also a lot of the ways through here as he points to his arcane matrix brooch. This is what lets me touch the weed directly. This is what lets me touch it with my mind. I can also just innately see magic as a gift from my mother.
He is similar to the golden one, sister.
The what now?
It's been... We had the Outlander visitor. Our tribe. A long while ago. He wore robes of red and black, with a golden mask. Very polite. Respected our customs and traditions. Wished to know our histories, our culture.
Huh.
Did not give a name, but wanted to see the sights of the island. We had to convince him, however, to avoid the temple.
Just above game check. So, Endair has told us, especially Salus, that this temple is bad news without going into detail. Is that correct?
I believe the session before the ship, he specifically said, is like, yeah, there's Islands are great as long as you don't go to the one forever horribly cursed spot that will definitely get you killed.
He has told the group about the ruins of the temple that his mother has forbade him from going into.
Mhm. And what Keha just said, they basically convinced this man not to go into the temple ruins.
Understood.
So,
Salus will pipe up. Endair has been very forthcoming about the nature of this temple, and we are all in agreement about also staying out of it, so no need to worry about that.
we thank you very much. That place has been nothing but bad news. It is because of that place we've lost many, many good friends. And there's kind of like a muttering underneath her breath. And there, you are closest to Keha and Mina.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, Kimi, I should say. My apologies. Keha and Kimi. Roll me a perception check.
That's a 5.
Just probably some small curse under her breath. Nothing
Probably.
too serious.
And you said it was a man in red and black with a gold mask?
That is correct. He spoke very very elegantly.
He gives a little bit of a nod, thinking back. This man has never come to my tribe, correct?
Correct. In fact, this sounds very... This doesn't sound like anything you would have ever heard of. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
man in a gold mask, red and black robes.
Mm-hmm.
But what you do know is that the fact that Keha pointed to Salus's book, you can only assume that this man is someone of the arcane arts. No doubt, probably a wizard.
Unfortunately, I have no knowledge of this man, but maybe when we get back, we are able to get back to my tribe. We'll be able to see if they have any information about this person. He does sound like, the way that you describe him, he sounds like a wizard, though.
Whatever the case being, he was very respectful to all customs. Feasted with us, though he would not take off his mask. Said that it was not appropriate for him to remove such a vestige.
How'd he eat with a mask on?
He requested that his food be brought to him to his small tent that he pitched. We did not bother him too much. The most any of us that saw him was... And she kind of looks to her beloved sister and she goes, if I remember correctly, that would have been... Naneki was tried to take a peek. He only lifted his mask a small bit. Revealed a mouth. Looked like... She kind of points to Goldblum. Him, but not the same color. Smaller as also.
And who they point to?
Goldblum.
Ah.
But smaller, not his color, so not gray. Care to say anything there, Sky Man?
Sky got angry.
It was the same color of gray.
Listen there, I don't know if it's Jeebus, I don't know if it's Zeus, but can you keep it down just a wee little bit? trying to
That
play
means no
people
Zeus.
here. Look. But they just kind of ache their heads and just go, whatever the case, your tribe might know a little bit more. They did spend a bit of time. They only spent a day or two with us. They wanted to explore. In the meantime, as you watch dear Kimmy kind of take a wooden bowl, a wooden ladle, and scoop out from this gigantic metal cauldron, she hands you a bowl there. Endair, here, taste this.
He'll take the bowl and he'll graciously take a sip of it and take a little look-see and see how it is.
Alrighty. Endair, I'm going to post this in our Discord here, so that way everyone can see it. You get a bowl of this.
Ooh.
Ooh, yummy.
Above game, that is golden coconut milk stew with fish and summer veggies. Specifically, 2 portions of white fish cut into bite-sized pieces, salt and freshly ground pepper, butter, olive oil, ginger root, peeled and minced, garlic, leeks, white and tender green parts thinly sliced, turmeric, crushed red pepper, squash, a tomato, unsweetened coconut milk, basil leaves, and of course, some cilantro leaves. It's honestly pretty good.
He takes a taste, nods a couple times, gives a smile. It's delicious. Haven't had something like this in a very long time.
Kimmy smiles back and goes, "And grab, cousin. Please, all of you, grab some bowls. Enjoy a bit of this stew. It is fresh, it is hot. It will nourish yourselves."
Okay. Also, Endair, do you have any of the prepared magic ink? I could probably knock out at least 3 scrolls tonight before we go to bed.
He reaches into the bag as he pulls out one of his alchemy jugs. Hand me your ink vial.
At this point, it's probably more like a mason jar.
And as he takes the mason jar, he'll unplug one of the dozen plugs, and he just pours pure ink into it.
All right, thank you. I'm actually going to prepare at least a few scrolls of lightning bolts just in case. So he's just going to go over there, plop down with his soup in one hand, the bowl in one hand, set on the ground, pull out his book, set up some paper, a quill, and let me pull it up on my sheet because it's a ritual. Start going through the ritual of doing. Dale's a terrific transcriber, so the entire tribe, as they come out to eat, see that a pen is literally copying down every word that this one single drow boy is saying, and writing it into a scroll that has qualities that are different from regular scrolls. And occasionally taking bites of the stew, which he seems to enjoy.
It is really good. As you take a bite. The fish definitely, it gives it that nice bit of umami.
Salas is going to town on this meal. He has a lot of calories to get back.
Even though there's fish in it?
Unfortunately, he does not care at this juncture.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
Oh, Belky's just gonna eat, but she's gonna definitely notice the fact that Salas is eating fish.
Fish.
Don't.
Eat the fish. Eat the fish.
Eat the fish. Eat the fish.
Let's not make a thing out of it.
Too late.
Absolutely.
All right. Tell you what. The next time that Salus has his internal organs rearranged, you may feed him fish.
You know what they say, everybody's doing the fish.
Will absolutely come up to grab like a bowl, and then afterwards just kind of like sit down and just take in the smells of like the food, but also like new environment, because everything is going to smell different to her here.
It is honestly really relaxing. It's nice. It's peaceful. It's honestly really peaceful.
May I also ask
The
one
one-
question?
Oh, by all means.
I just want to know about approximately what time of day it is, just because I want to know how many scrolls I can make for the villagers and how much time I have before he has to trance.
About that. Hey, Endair, would you care to alleviate your friends here about time in the Southern Isles?
So, y'all remember how I said that y'all remember the conversation that we had about the day-night cycle here, right?
In
That there is no moon.
that is no
Correct.
night, basically.
Correct. Basically, Vaughn is just asking the general roundabout time of day that he would think it might be due to his like internal clock.
Like
Just to
from
get
the
an
time-
idea of
Yeah, from like whenever he basically woke up in the day knowing that he has 16 hours. Actually, no, he's got 20 hours that he's awake for. He just needs to figure out what hour he's on.
Also, give me just one moment, friends.
All good?
Temporarily pause the music here for a quick sec. Need to check something.
It was morning-ish when we were on the ship the second day, right? Like after we had the dinner and before we went into the plane, it was kind of sort of morning, like 9-ish.
Yeah, but when you plane hop, you might as well just throw time out the window.
Fair enough. I more so just meant in regards to like how long had been awake thereabouts.
Yeah, but I say at
fair
this
enough.
point it's that sense of why you get jet lag, because your body thinks you're in a different time than where you actually are.
Yeah.
So right now he's basically in that spot where he's in that spot, but he's not having any of the fatigue because he's used to being up and around for those hours.
Just gonna have to do as the cats do. Do we want nap? We take nap.
Cat naps.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong.
I was
with that.
muted this whole time. I was making jokes. I was funny, and y'all didn't hear it.
Sorry.
Oh shit.
Aw.
I went dun cat naps.
Damn. Can't believe.
Yeah. No, the moment is ruined. It is past. I'm so sorry.
Well, you know what they say. Early bird gets the worm.
I don't want to
Just
eat
like-
worms.
and the second mouse gets the cheese.
Exactly. But you are all basically invited to partake of this nice little feast, enjoying and sampling the delectable wares. Besides the little bit of the stew, there's some fresh baked bread. There's a little bit of how do I put this? A little bit of appetizers given to you. Bits and different bits of like how do I put this? A little bit. Oh! Shit!
Oh!
Damn.
Yeah, We might need to
I
wrap up
flashed
early.
for a second. Okay, hi.
Holy.
Whoa.
That was...
Yeah.
What? Maybe
That
this would
sounded
be a
close.
maybe this would be a good time to take a break and maybe wind up ending the stream.
Yeah, I think perhaps so.
Yeah. In fact, allow me to put it this way. We are going to end tonight's session on y'all getting some food and a little bit of rest and relaxation.
Yep, sounds good.
Oh yeah,
Noted.
there's a quick one tonight, but
Yeah,
I
my
think we're
apologies.
justified.
Yeah, my apologies, everybody. That was... Woo-hoo!
No,
Oh,
we
my-
apologize. We fucking
Oh,
get
my
it.
anus jumped up into my mouth.
Oh.
Descriptive.
Honey.
If we're gonna call it here, why don't we go around the horn before we lose power?
All right, hi. I'll start this one off. Hi, everyone. Twitch, Twitter, JFrost747. Thank you for coming to tonight's stream. I love you all. You'll find me at other Good Beans channels. Farting Tarts channel every other Tuesday. Fucking whoever's hosting for Candlekeep for that 1 week. Yeah. Besides that, you all are awesome. I love you, Krista.
Hi, Spoiled Chestnut, also known as Krista. I do not exist. Yeah, I'm just here every other Saturday. And sometimes on Candlekeep. Bye. Zai, go.
Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, do things here. Twitch, Instagram, Zyme site. Explain more later. Someone else go, Bob.
I'm Bob. Shout out Answer Bob. Find me everywhere on Shout Out Answer Bob. I got stuff going on. Willie.
You can find me. Wiley is Willie on Twitch. Randomizers, Path of Exile. Music on YouTube and Ko-Fi, and I'm on Blue Sky. CG, where can we not find you?
Most places. I'm not in a lot of not places. You can one of the few of them that you can find me. Tarts channel next Friday, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. That's me, Vaughn.
Yeah, hi. You're already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. Tomorrow we have Those Who Wander. Whole lot of spookiness going on. And, something I forgot to announce at the beginning, a month from today, we are starting the first session of Pack Tactics Season 4. So be on the lookout for that. And now
A little
because
bit more than that.
I thought we said we were doing it on the 14th.
Oh, you were going numerically. I see.
Yeah. And we're gonna raid our good buddy Zaka. What should our raid message be so we can get out of here?
ZEUS with the sniper.
Okay.
Zeus with the sniper.
Alright, thank y'all for coming
You're
out.
not wrong.
Yeah. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
And
Bye.
And along came Zeus.